Here is an assistant for the worksheet called Trend Lines and Predictions. This activity starts with problem number 1, which says, scientists are studying the deer mouse population in a state park. Each time the scientists capture and release a deer mouse, they record the total length from nose to tail and also the length of the teeth. The two measurements are listed in the table below. 14, 20, 19, 16, 11, 10, 13, 12 and a half, 11, 8 and a half. We need to identify the independent and dependent variables. Now notice that the length is being measured in centimeters and the tooth length is being measured in millimeters. After you identify your independent and dependent variables, we're going to make a scatter plot on the graph below. We have to label and scale our axes. Then we're going to decide if the scatter plot shows a positive correlation, a negative correlation, or no correlation at all. If there is a correlation, then we're going to draw a trend line. And based on the line, we're going to predict the tooth length of a deer mouse if it happened to live to be 22 centimeters long. Well, the length in centimeters, the smallest number is 11 and the largest number is 20. The tooth length, the smallest number is 8.5 and the largest number is 12.5. So if I need to go from 11 to 20, the first thing I need to know is how much room I have on my graph paper. Well, let's count. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 boxes going across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 boxes going up. Well, we know we're going to want to predict the tooth length of a deer mouse that's 22 centimeters long. So basically I would be adding the number 22 to this list, and I'm going to have to guess what number will be on this list, which means I'm actually needing to go from 11 to 22, which is a distance of 11. So if I start with this being 10, 11, I can make this be 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This is in centimeters and it's the length. Okay, so see how I labeled that? I decided to go every one is 1 centimeter. I'm just labeling every other one to save myself room. And then I need to be able to go from 8.5 as my smallest number here to 12.5, but I'm going to guess I'm going to have to go much larger because of this. So I'm actually going to start with a break in my graph here and a break in my graph here. I'm going to hope I have enough room going 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This side is in millimeters and it is my tooth length. Let's create our scatter plot. Alright, so let's start doing our scatter plot. Our first piece of data says that when the mouse is 14 centimeters long, that his tooth is 10 centimeters long. So at 14 and 10 I put a dot. The next piece of data says when he is 20 centimeters long, his tooth is 13 millimeters long. There's 13, there's the 20, there's a dot. 19 and 12 and a half. Here's 19, 12 and a half. Need to do 16 with 11. Need to do 11 with 8 and a half. So we need to come up with a trend line if we can. So first of all, would you say that this has a positive correlation, a negative correlation, or no correlation at all? Now remember, positive correlations show growth. As one piece of data increases, the other piece of data increases. A negative correlation is when you show a drop, meaning that as one thing increases, the other decreases. No correlation means that your dots are just scattered all over like crazy. I personally see a positive correlation. Now we want to see if these things line up. So I've just taken an ordinary household toothpick, and sure enough, it looks like they line up pretty good. This one went up 1 and over 2. If I go up 1 and over 2, up 1 and over 2, hey, did you catch that? If I go up 1 and over 2, that's a nice slope between these 2 points. So if I go up 1 and over 2 again, up 1 and over 2 again, there's a nice correlation between those 3 points. Let's see, if I go down 1 and back 2, down 1 and back 2, down half of 1 and over 2 halves. Yeah, look at that. They all lie in a nice straight line. So that means I could draw a trend line going right there. Well, I need a piece of paper to use, or a ruler. I don't have a ruler handy, but I have a nice sheet of paper here, an advertisement from my newspaper. So there's a trend line. That's pretty close. And so again, if I use my slope, up 1 over 2, I wanted it to hit right here, which is that value of 22 that I was looking for, which is the value of 14, which means that my prediction is, if my deer mouse is 22 centimeters long, that his teeth will be 14 millimeters long. Pretty cool, huh? Nice. So now your job will be to take the data on this side for sets A, B, C, D, E, and F. I'm going to give you some graph paper, and you will do the same kind of thing where you are going to put these scatter plots out. You are going to try to find either a positive correlation, a negative correlation, or no correlation at all. And if you can, we'll see if we can make some predictions together.